Who's about? Sean? Set up. The middle, isn't it? Here comes the gather.
Do we need chairs?
Yeah, hi Alison, yeah, usual stuff. What do we need today? Come on, dumbbells for the warm-up. Chairs with the chins, yeah, it's really difficult to load that movement to recruit the upper back without some form of chinning station, which we can use with the chairs. We get the chairs set up again for our upper back. Slippery floor, trainers on the hands for the slide pull-throughs as well to try and isolate the lats. It'd be good. Give everyone else a chance to get in. Doing all right. Dan and Lizzie, hello. Hi. So a bit of upper back then, a bit of scapular retraction, depression. Try and load up those lat traps. Rhomboid rear delt. Bit of biceps at the end. So all the muscle groups we didn't do yesterday. So we've got, again, the theme this week's been we're trying to volumise the work that we do. So high volume, lots of reps, I suppose, lots of reps back to back. And structured in such a way so that the reps, the sort of mechanics of the lift get progressively easier to try and allow us to continue through that fatigue. So the movements get easier, not more difficult as we get tired. So we got a lat giant set, 4 exercises. We're going to run that 3 times. Then mid-back Intra Scapular, scapular retraction giant set, 4 movements again, which we're going to run 3 times. And then we've got the biceps, 4 movements, but one of them is a unilateral. So there's 3 movements to do. There's a new movement in there as well, which we've not done before, which you'll need a door frame for. So that will prove challenging, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So yeah, so those are the that's the 3. So a big giant set for lats, 3 times through, big giant set for intrascapular 3 times through, and then 3 giant sets for the biceps. So if you guys are ready, then if you've got your chinning station ready, let's quickly mobilise and warm up. Set the scene for the workout. Yeah, let's work. Was on, as we know from chatting previously, training the upper back. So, you know, there isn't as much variety that you can use. Chest, shoulders, legs, you've got more variety. So you're limited in what you can do with the upper back without any kit. But we still get a good workout today. So nice little jog on the spot then. Let's raise the body temperature just to start us off. Oh, there it goes, the old foam ruffle. It's not jumps. Just get up on the toes. Just what? You're getting ready to catch a ball. A little speed scat as we did the other day. So just move it laterally. And into that little bit of upper body mobilisation then. Hug and extend. Adduction, abduction, horizontal across the torso. Vertical flexion, extension of the shoulder then. Up and down. Stretch out those shoulders. Oh, my shoulders are feeling it from yesterday. Really,
yeah, I can feel my chest, Pat.
Can you? It's hit me in the shoulders.
Yeah, I got the chest yesterday.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. Okay, well, if you've got something to load up with, great. If not, don't worry, carry on with body weight. Get some more external rotation. Let's get into that tip position then. I want to try and make this one a little bit more back focused. Bit of retraction there. You can do it with your hands as well, it's no problem. So squeeze the shoulder blades together. External rotation and press. There's no need to drop. Keep these elbows up. Keep those elbows up. Activate the back before we start these big movements later. Couple more. Last one before these burn. That'll do. Got me up and back going. All right then. So we've got 4 movements to work through for the lats. We're going to isolate first up. So we've got our slide pull through on the slippery floor there. I'm going to put my trainers on my hands so my hands have got the grip. Nice stiff arm, pulling through, bringing the torso into extension, into hyper extension with the scapula down and back. I want to get my elbow past my torso. That's the role of the lats. There's going to be a bit of triceps in there helping. As many reps as you can. If you can get to 12, fine, because you stop at 12 because we can catch up with the rest of the exercise. So slide pull throughs, straight into wide grip chins, as about 12 again if you can. Then close the grip, so it's mechanically stronger. You're going from adduction into extension a little bit when you come a little bit closer to the grip. Plus there's a little bit more forearm recruitment helping the back out. And then your final one, we're going to ask the biceps to help out even more by taking an underhand grip. So the 4 exercises are slide throughs, wide grip chins, closer grip chins, underhand grip chins. If you can shoot for 12 all the way through, you're going to get approximately, bones off, you're going to get approximately 50 reps. Okay, but the reps the first 12 are going to be tough, second 12 slightly easier, third 12 slightly easier, fourth 12 slightly easier, but you know, you're going to get tired. So let's have a little whiz through. So set your tuning station up so that you can make those changes on the fly. And let's just see what these giant sets, see if we can get that volume to the work if we can. So I'm going to set myself up for me some slides on here. I've kept my track, I've thought ahead and kept my trackies on, so I'm not scratching my knees. All right then, so we all know the movements. We ain't got to rush the movements. Time under tension is more important than rep count, as is technique and feeling the muscle group. So I'm not worried about you blasting these out in record time. I just want you to get that muscle tired. So let's see if we can shoot for 10, 12s or something, and you've got 40 to 50 reps then of good quality challenging reps to work through. As soon as you're ready then, away we go. Start with these stiff arm pull throughs, head up, chest out, pulling into extension. Away we go. Already I can feel me back. First rep, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel the triceps as well from yesterday. 6, 7. Bit of chest there as well. Certainly feel that soreness from yesterday now. 9, 10. Whoa. Right, straight into a wide grip chins. Try not to rest too much between your sets. Trying to get these giant sets, as we call it, wide grip. Too smooth and slow. Put your chest out to meet the bar. 9, 10. Whoa. Quick change. I'm going to bring the grip a bit closer. Let's see if this stick holds out. Bring these a little closer. Bit closer in the grip, away I go. One more. Oh, that's 3 of the 4 done. Underhand grip now for me. Feet underneath me. Biceps helping now. No point carrying on. Oh. That was hard. First set. I've got 10 pull throughs, 10 wide grip, 10 close grip, 6 underhand. I'd gone at that point. So what's that? 30, 36 reps. Going to run that 3 times. Good rest in between. Give us every opportunity to try and get the volume to the set. Try and get good quality reps. Try and get that rep count up. Try and get that time under tension up. The more reps you do, the longer the time under tension. Already feel that up there. Already after the first set. Second set coming up then. 30 seconds or so. Right, let's get set up then. Second time round. Trainers help me hands to grip the slippery floor. Everything else can slide. If you've got some shorts on, some cloths or dusters under your knees. Joggers really helps on the slippery floor. So torso into extension. Shoulders down and back as you perform the rep. Try and get your elbows past your torso if you can. Or certainly level with your torso. Right, if you feel good then, let's start this second giant set. You know how many reps you've got first set, so let's use that as our marker. Right, away we go. 1, Come up into extension, pick the head up. 2. Squeeze shoulder blades down and back. 3. 5. Really feel these in the lats. Good effective exercise in the absence of dumbbells and barbells. And a chin-in bar. If you've got a chin-in bar at home, you've got a bit more freedom. Onto my wide grip. Grip. Wide to close. Come on. Last movement now, underhand. Oh. That's horrible. Yeah. Oh. Oh, rest a minute. Oh. So that time, got 8 across the board, 8 slide pull throughs, 8 wide, 8 close, 8 underhand. So I think, what did I get? 30, 34, 35 first time, 32 second time. 1 more set to do. We'll be 400 reps or so come the end of the workout, I reckon. "30 seconds or so, then we'll get set up for the third and final set on our lats, and then turn our attention to more scapular retraction in this horizontal plane, I suppose, here, as opposed to this vertical plane that we've got going on at the moment. So horizontal plane work coming up after this set. All right, then, if we feel good and recovered, let's run it one more time. Let's see how we go with the reps this time, this last time. Okay, as soon as you're ready, all the usual teaching points apply. Focus your mind on your lats, that muscle group up under the armpit. Let's see how we go. Last time round on this giant set. 1, 5, 6, come on. Ooh. 7, oh, that's it. 7. Wide grip now. Oh, wide grip's done. A bit closer. Oh, close grips now, last one. Underhand grip, sorry. Underhand grip. A bit more bicep in this one. Oh. Oh. Oh, that wasn't easy. That's a hard start. Upper back session. Tough that, good rest there. Fluids on board. Finished the first 3 giant sets for the lats. Predominantly working in this horizontal plane, the vertical plane. We want to try and work in this horizontal to the torso plane. Next, at the horizontal at the shoulder joint, to try and change that emphasis through the upper back if we can. Tough going. All right, so the movements next then, while we recover. Intra Scapular mid-back. Squeezing. When you elevate these elbows a little and work in the horizontal plane, you get a little bit more rear delts. You get a little bit more closure of the space between the shoulder blades. So you get a little bit more rhomboids, a little bit more traps, a little more trapezius recruitment in the middle there. All those intrascapular muscle groups are working away just that little bit more now. Still get a little bit of the lat. As some of the fibres run vertically for the lats, which predominantly is extension. Some of those fibres that run horizontally, upper lat, will still kick in here. So there's the line of the fibres. Nice saying to finish as you follow the fibres. So you still get a little bit of upper lat on some of these movements. So intrascapular then. So we're going to do a chair inverted row. So as long as we keep our hips up, we know that we're going to be working in the horizontal to the torso plane. So we need to keep our hips up. We're going to go wide grip. Then we're going to go underhand grip. It's going to change the mechanics a little bit, but as long as we keep the hips up, it's mechanically going to get a little bit easier. Then we're going to go for some floor scapular squeezes, where you squeeze your elbows into the floor to close the space between the shoulder blades. Then our fourth movement is in the door. So you've got your door scapular squeezes. So first movement, wide grip with your hips up, inverted row. Second movement, underhand grip with your hips up, inverted row. Third movement, floor scapular squeezes, where you lean back on your elbows. Fourth movement, door scapular squeezes, where we lean into the door and squeeze upper arm against the door frame to close the space between the shoulder blades. And that's all I want you to be thinking about now, is close the space between the shoulder blades by getting your chest out. So every rep, chest out. As soon as you do that, you close the space between the shoulder blades. So we know we're going to get the right recruitment. So let's get set up. So same tuning station. wide grip to underhand grip. So as long as I keep my hips elevated, squeeze your glutes together, pinch your bum cheeks together, you're going to keep your hips up and you're going to be working in that horizontal plane. Right then, 12 reps a piece would be nice, he says. Let's see what happens. That's going to give us 48 reps or so. Let's see how we get on. First set there, we've got 3 joint sets to do here for the big back. Let's crack on, let's have a go. Wide grip. Squeeze chest to the bar, here we go. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Hips up. 8. Chest out. 10, 11, 12. Quick transition, same position. This time I want an underhand grip, if I can. Hips up. 6, getting tired. 7, 8, 9. Oh, that's hit the wall. Squeezing the shoulder blades together now. Just come a little bit lower so you can see this one. Four scapular squeezes. Works better on the slippery floor. You can still squeeze them together though. 3, 4. Don't crunch through the abs. Keep your head up, chest out. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. 6. Go for 12. 7. Close the space between your shoulder blades. 9. 10. Push your chest out to do it. 11. It's a small mover. I can feel these. That's me 4. One's done. Now I'm off to my door frame. As fast as I can. To try and get these door frame scap squeezes. Final 12. Here we go. Squeeze. Bigger movement this one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chest out. 8, 9, 10, 11. 12. Oh my God, that was hard. Oh, that was tough, man. We're talking about the different recruitment yesterday. We could really feel the transition from chest to shoulders to triceps. It was really nice there for me that my lats were screaming after the previous 3 giant sets. This one already, I can feel the emphasis has crept up and to the center of my back. And that's because I'm mindful to try and keep the shoulders down and squeeze those shoulder blades together. Okay, you've got to get the scapular depression, the lowering of the shoulder blades, and the scapular retraction. You can go into protraction to start the rep and then squeeze into scapular retraction, doing your best to close the space between your shoulder blades. And that's what gives you that recruitment through your intrascapular, your mid-back. Good recovery there then, and we'll hit that another couple of times. Not quite as tough as the chins after the chins after the chins. But we couldn't carry on at that level of intensity anyway. So it's nice to get that mind to muscle connection, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And it's nice to get that little bit more rear delt recruitment if we can. That rear part of the shoulder, often neglected. Responsible for horizontal abduction and a little bit of external rotation as well. Assists in that. So really good for looking after the health of the shoulder, particularly if you're front and medial delt heavy, you need to make sure that we've got that posterior delt to balance everything out. Okay, let's have another go then. Wide grip, hips up, rows. Underhand grip, hips up, rows. Easy. On the floor, scapular squeezes in the frame. As soon as you feel ready and set, it's not a race. We want quality reps. I know roughly where my rep count was, then got 12, 12, 8, 12, 12. So that's okay. So let's see if I can get somewhere near again. Hips up, squeeze your glutes together, chest out, close the space between those shoulder blades. We're off. 6, 7, 8, 9, one more. 10, whoa. Quick change, underhand grip. Here we go, a bit more bicep recruitment, slight change angles. Whoops, slow them down. Don't throw those chairs about. Ten twice there. After relax. Let's drop these down just so that everyone can see what's going on. Squeezing the shoulder blades together now. Squeeze. Squeeze. Focus on closing the space.
What's happening?
Oh. Last in the door frame. Get a bigger range of movement in the door frame. Less percentage of my body weight. Works nicely. There's the last exercise on these mechanical drop sets. Here we go. Oh, so that you're now burning. Oh. Really feel that in my upper back. 10s across the board for me then. 10 wide, 10 underhand, and 10 on both of the scapular squeezes. I hope you can all feel it in your upper back as much as me. I can really feel it on the targeted muscle groups, which is really, really important that you feel the right muscle group doing the work and you feel the fatigue in the muscle that you're supposed to be feeling it in. Comes with time in the gym, that mind to muscle connection, we keep talking about it. That comes with time, but it really, really helps get the best out of these. When we try and isolate these muscle groups. When you're doing the circuit classes, things like that, the body integrates, the body works together, that's absolutely fine. When you're trying to do a bit of physique and strength development and development of the sort of muscularity of the body a little bit, you want to try and take as much assistance from other muscle groups away as you can and target the muscle that you're sort of trying to focus on. A bit more isolated approach from a physique perspective. From a performance perspective, if you play sport, it wouldn't be your primary goal to isolate because your body integrates, your body works together. Your lats work with your hips, which work with your glutes, which work with your quads, which work with your calves. You know, you've got this kinetic chain of movement. Horses for courses, train for your goals. We've got one more of them to go. And then we're into biceps. We're doing all right for time as well. Crikey, we might get finished early for a change. So we've got one more of these, and then we've got 3 giant sets for the bicep. We need to spend a bit of time talking about your new movements. We're going to do a door frame bicep curl. Only because we haven't got any dumbbells or anything like that. So I want you to try and do something that maybe isolated the biceps a little bit. So we'll have a little play around with those in a minute. Another 30 seconds or so then. Let's give this back every opportunity to get a good rep count there. Whew. We might go back to a bit more strength-based stuff next week. We've done high reps this week. Let's go back to some more unilateral strength-based stuff. I wonder how we'd get on with unilateral chin-ups. That'd be quite tough. I'll have a think. Some strength-based stuff next week. All right, then, let's give this last set a go. Wide grip chins. Wide grip supine inverted rows with the hips squeezed together. Underhand grip, back to back. Floor scapular and door scapular squeezes. Okay, feel good, feel ready. Let's get this 3rd set done, then we can move into a bit of biceps. Remember, space between your shoulder blades, hips up, chest out. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Squeeze your glutes. If these chairs start wobbling around, the reps are coming too fast. You have to slow those reps down. 1, 2, 6. 7. Feel the chairs going now. 8, 9, 10. Little rest, little swap. Underhand grip now. Same body position. Hips up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Oh. 8. Onto the isolation stuff now. No elbow flexion in these. So we've got elbow flex work earlier. Squeeze that space between the shoulder blades. Drive your elbows down into the floor. Close the space between those shoulder blades. 10. 10. 10. On the last exercise now, just a walk down the corridor for me. Last bit, here we go. Into the door, into the room, out of the room with that squeeze. Take a second to squeeze your shoulders together, shoulder blades together at the top. Halfway, squeeze. Oh. 8, 10. So 36 reps that last set. Yeah, so we're getting plenty of reps out. Plenty of lactic acid, plenty of metabolic stress, plenty of metabolites building up in the muscle cells that are doing the work. It's one of the signalers for muscular development, one of the signalers for muscle protein synthesis, we call it, the development of the muscle systems that we have. So lots of reps is one signaler. Strength and progressive overloads another, and muscle fiber damage, which we generally pick up from the negative portion of the rep, the lengthening of the rep, is another signal. Those are the 3 signalers for development of your muscle tissue, if that's your goal, you know. So for some people, it's particularly as we age and mature, It's preventing the wastage of the muscle groups, which you need muscle protein synthesis to do that. You've got muscle protein breakdown, MPB, that's the loss of your muscle, versus MPS, muscle protein synthesis, which is the development of your muscle. And there's a battle waging between those two. If muscle protein breakdown is winning, you lose your tissue. If muscle protein synthesis is winning, you gain that tissue. So that's the battle that's going on in the body. Right then, so while we recover, we've got 3 more giant sets to do, this time sort of targeted at the biceps. Now, as you'll remember from me droning on previous sessions, if I have movement down of the elbow, then my lats are working. So if I have flexion of the elbow, my biceps are working. If I have both are working. Now, we were just talking about the merits of isolating the muscle groups just a second ago. So we want to do some movements where the lats are helping the biceps. That's absolutely fine. But we also want to do some movements where the lats aren't helping the biceps. It's a bit more isolated. So we're going to do what's called a door frame bicep curl. We're going to do a bicep curl in the door frame if we can. So let's run through the movements that we've got for your biceps. So we're going to do the chair supine bicep curls. All right, so that's isolated because the elbow stays up, the lats stay out of it, and you've got elbow flexion only. All right, so the lats aren't working. So that's the first movement. That's the hardest movement. Second movement, we're going to go into the underhand chins again, but I'm going to keep it in the range that takes those lats off it. So that's the range where I want to be. They're working around almost like a partial rep, almost like a half rep. I don't want to get this elbow into deep extension because I know I'm using my lats. A little bit of extension is okay. You're going to work the lats a little bit, but I want the load to be on the biceps. So I want to work at this right angle position, okay, with my bicep, with my chin ups, with my chair chins, which we'll get to in just a second. And the third and final movement, which you're going to perform left and right to give us 4 sets. You're back to your door frame. I hope you'll be able to see this. I haven't got a stand for this really. I want you to stand in the door. I want you to hold your hand so your face, the back of your hand is level with your nose. Lean backwards and then pull your chest towards the door frame. And when you get there, squeeze that bicep as hard as you can. Now, the elbow doesn't overly drop towards the torso, which means I'm reducing the lat recruitment. All right, so from here, I want it up level with the nose, up level with the eyes, with my grip. Feet leaning in, and from there, I'm going to squeeze my bicep. And really squeeze that bicep hard as you can. Squeeze the bicep. Squeeze the bicep. 3 reps. I can already feel that bicep, 3 reps there. Once you've done those 2 exercises and the bicep has some fatigue in it, when we come back here, that's going to be an excellent way to isolate the bicep and get the last little bit of effort and the last little bit of fatigue out of that bicep. If I go the other way, I don't know whether you can sort of see, if I do it that way, maybe, I don't know, give it a shot. Can we go the other way? Up level with my face, lean in, from there, squeeze that bicep. Lean back all the time, don't fall into it, lean back, squeeze that bicep, squeeze it as hard as you can. Out, lean back, in and squeeze, lean back. That elbow doesn't drop too low because of the position of the grip. If I lower it, that becomes a single arm row, and that's lats. All right. If I'm up here, the lats can't help. I'm up level with my forehead, and this stays up. We've got shoulder flexion as opposed to shoulder extension, and that is biceps for me. And it will be for you guys as well. So that's a way that you can really, I can really feel that in my bicep. It's an excellent exercise. Just need to be a little savvy about, you can train at home. without these barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells. Yes, great, we come to the gym, perfect, great environment to train. But when we can't come to the gym, we've got these movements that we can hit. All right, let's give it a blast. So your first one then is, we want the low position for your first exercise. So we remember that one where you get your forehead underneath and you're bringing your forehead almost like a head banger bicep curl or a supine sort of inverted to the bicep curl. We've done those before. So hit that to failure. 8 reps, 10 reps, your biceps are going to be cooking. That's an isolated movement. Bring this to the top. Chair underhand chins in the bicep effective range. Don't put this elbow into deep extension. Keep everything at right angles. Put those. Right arm, frame curls. Left arm, frame curls. That's your giant set. I'm going to shoot for 10 on each, something like that. But I'm going to really try and squeeze my biceps with every one of those. If I can get 40 reps, great. But every rep, squeeze that bicep as hard as I can so I get that good contraction on the muscle. Right then, let's give it a go. So you want positioning for this first exercise, you want your forehead just underneath the bar. If your forehead's underneath the bar, you're less likely to use your, excuse my language, you're less likely to use your lats. Exactly the same teaching points apply for your hip position. Keep your hips up, and then, unless you're struggling with the weight, you keep your hips down if you want to deload the exercise. If you want to load it up, keep the hips up, and it's a light touch of your upper back on the floor between your reps. All right then, let's see how we get on. As soon as you're ready, away we go. Hips up, squeeze, forehead to the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on, 2 more. 9, 1 more for biceps. 10. Quick change. Take that bar to the higher position. I'm going to go with some underhand chin-ups now. Underhand pull-ups, I should say. 10 would be nice. Just working in the middle range. Work in the middle range. Elbow into deep extension. Oh, it's tough 10 there. 10. Down to my door frame. I'm going to get these bicep curls now. Forehead. Here we go. Squeeze. Can you see there? You can quite see. That's the one. Up. Lean in, lean back. Feet close. Lean back. Squeeze the bicep. Squeeze. Squeeze every rep. Squeeze. Keep leaning back. Don't go towards the frame with your chest. Keep your chest leaning back or squeezing your scapula together. Oh, feel that left side. Squeeze your bicep as hard as you can. At the peak of the movement. Oh. I think I got 10. 10's all the way then. Felt that in my bicep. It's good. Nice to isolate the bicep at the end there with a sub-maximal load. The first exercise, you're isolating the bicep with near maximal load. and then into your lat assisted chair pull-ups. But it's nice to get that squeeze of the bicep, squeezing the bicep with the elbow up. If you can, squeeze those biceps. That's almost what we're doing, is there, squeeze. Your chest goes in, and you sort of keeping this elbow up. As soon as you drop there, you're hitting your lats. But if you're up here, that sort of movement, then you know you're getting that bicep. In the absence of dumbbells, kettlebells, it's a nice alternative. So we've got 2 more of them to do. 10-2. So much for finishing early. Talking about rubbish again. So another quick 30 seconds. We'll set up so that we get the low position to start us off. For the head curl, some people like to call them. Head banger bodyweight curl. Into the high position for the chair pull-ups. But remember about the pull-ups, remember the effective range. If that elbow comes right down here, it's lats, 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 lats. If the elbow stays relatively sort of up, then we can keep the shoulder switched on a little bit, which turns the lats off. That gives the bicep a chance to work a bit more independently. Then it's into the door frames. So let's go for it. Okay, head banger curls, as some people like to call them. Well, you're not banging your head off it, but you're bringing your forehead to it. Hips up. All right, here we go. Or hips down. I'll do a few reps at the start with my hips down so you can sort of see it if the camera angle will let you. So that you're still getting loads of biceps there with your hips down. Try a few with your hips down. All right, here we go then. Six and 4 then with my hips up and down. Changing to the top. Working the effective range for my biceps. Right angles. Managed 12 there, but only because they're kind of half a rep. I was trying to keep my lats well out of it, so I changed the range to try and keep it on my bicep. Door frame curls in. Give them a go. That looks all right. Up. Squeeze the bicep. Squeeze. Really squeeze. I'm telling myself I've got to squeeze this bicep because I want that mind to muscle connection. One more for me. Oh, I can feel that. Really feel that. Squeeze it hard. Try and flex and squeeze that muscle group at the top of the movement. One more. Second set done. I've got 6 of those head banger curls with my hips up, 4 with my hips down to get to 10. I did 12 partial reps, which I felt were in the better range of my biceps on the chins, and then 8 reps each side on the high elbow, the sort of door frame curl. So feeling it on the biceps, which is good. You know, see if we can keep the back out a bit now, and see if we can feel it on the bicep portion of the top of the arm. One more set, and we're done. Another 30 seconds or so. Right, okay, let's get set up then. We might as well add it. We might as well get it done. Setting up low for the curls, then transitioning into high for the pull-up variant, the bicep pull-up variant, then quickly nipping down to the door frame for my isolated bicep curl. Unilateral, just one side of it. Bilateral, unilateral. Last time through then. Let's have a good final set. I'm getting tired now, but let's do our best. As soon as you feel ready, away we go with this last giant set. Six of each. Right, I want to stay. I've got to really, I want to focus now on keeping my lats out of this. Biceps. Oh, 12. Down to the frame for the last bit of this session now. Ideally, you wouldn't take that long between the exercises, but here's what it is. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Oh, 8. Quick change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more back. 1 more. Oh. They're effective then if they're done right. You can really feel that in the bicep at the end. Keep working through your reps if you've not finished yet. How are we doing for time? Oh, 2 minutes to. We still ain't going to finish on time. Oh. Right, good stuff. Muscle groups suitably worked. Last little bit, of course. Pop a little bit of length into those muscle groups that we've been really focusing on squeezing and tightening and shortening. So we want to pop a little bit of length into those. Start with the lats. Reverse engineer your muscle contraction. Adduction, extension. Reverse them. Get your arm up. Get your arm into the opposite of the muscular contraction. So ease down, reach over and push to start you off. You'll feel a pre-stretch. Don't fall into flexion at the hips. Keep the hips through. Hold and pull. Get nice and deep into that stretch. Oh, slowly out. Same with the side. Ease down, reach, then push. Lengthen out the lat. You'll feel it. Let that take a second or two. Intensify that stretch. Ooh. Feel that in the latch up under the armpit. All right, so we've got a vertical plane stretch. Now we want a horizontal plane stretch. All right, so remember what we said about the role of the rear delts and the intrascapular muscle groups is everything's closing down. Well, let's protract then into retraction, or stretch them. So pop one on top of the other, roll the shoulders over, push forward, chin down, separate the shoulder blades, and you'll feel as you go into shoulder protraction, stretching that mid back. Oh, and relax there. Rear delts, we know. Follow the line of the fibers. Palms down. Take that arm across. If we go palms up, the elbow drops and we get a bit of medial delt stretch. Just keep the elbow up, take it across. The worst time. Change over. Into biceps then. Take the thumbs forwards and then take them behind. Put a little pulse on that. You can have your hands down and behind as well if you want to with the palms up. Just to get that stretch on those fibers. Anywhere there behind the torso, give you a nice little stretch on the biceps. And finally then from gripping, we get a lot of forearm flexion, pushing down, and give. Change over. And relax there. Good stuff. Well done, everyone. Everyone all right?
Wow. I can feel that. Definitely.
Thanks, Pat.
You've done the trick.
As long as you're feeling it in the right spot, that's the main thing.
That's it. I must be working.
That's exactly that. Yeah, it's definitely working. Right then, so have a great weekend, and we'll kick off next week again with some legs on Monday. A bit more strength-based stuff, focusing on slowing the negative and doing a bit more unilateral stuff and less reps. So we really went to town on the reps this week, or we tried to do, just to get that volume training, just to get that variety. But we'll go back to the strength-based stuff next week. Spot on.
Cheers.
Yeah. No worries. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers, Pat.
No worries, Dan.
Catch you in a bit.
And you, mate.